Hi there! Well, Sarah Christensen wanted to know more about my bodybuilding experiences, competition experiences. This can be like a whole series of how I got started, why I got started, what it takes. So I'm not exactly sure what you want to know, Sarah. I had lifted weights on my own for about 12 years before I entered my first bodybuilding competition. I had started at the YMCA, just fooling around with a friend, using machines until I was pushing really heavy weight, like on the leg press machine, and someone said, you should do free weights. I'm like, really? So then I started doing free weights, and they had free personal trainers down there at the time, and I got a personal trainer named Barney, who was an excellent guy, and for about 3 months, twice a week, he showed me the basic fundamentals of weight training. And he showed me the correct form. He taught me about all the muscles. He was right there assisting me, and I learned a tremendous amount about weightlifting and got my foundation there, and that was a terrific foundation. And then they didn't let him work with me anymore for free, so just because they changed their policy. And then I just took that on my own for the next 12 years. Well, I'm very competitive in nature, and I had always kind of thought about competing because I'm just competitive. I always am self-competitive, pushing harder and harder, more and more weights. So I heard about, I thought about powerlifting, but then I somehow thought about bodybuilding. I don't know. But I turned 45, and at 45 I thought, well, it's now or never. So I had no idea where to start. None whatsoever. So I started making some calls. I started Googling about bodybuilding competitions. I had no idea. I ended up, fortunately, hitting a website of a competition suit maker here in Washington named Mary Christine, who it turns out is one of the top competition suit makers in the nation. I didn't know that. And I talked to her on the phone. I said, hey, I'm 45. I was, don't know anything about this, but I want to give this a try. And she gave me the name of another person named Shannon Gill, who's a coach in Bellevue, Washington. And Shannon and her sister Sandy, who was a professional fitness competitor, were putting together a little workshop introducing people to the idea of entering competitions. So I went to that workshop. It was about a half a day, and I learned about sort of what's involved with the whole thing. And then I kind of signed up with Shannon. Shannon recommended us to work with someone named Mike Davies, who's a trainer in Ohio, who's well known in the competition world. And so what I ended up doing was hiring at least 2 coaches at the time. So online, I would purchase the services of Mike Davies for nutrition, which was a diet plan, a daily diet plan, and also purchased his services for the training plan. And then Shannon, I would see once a week up in Bellevue for posing training. So fortunately, I hooked up with some of the best, which was just purely by luck and by coincidence. And I'm so glad I did, because I had no idea what to do, none. And I would have just, if I would have done it, I would have walked on stage and go, hi, I'm Kathy. But that is not at all what is done at competitions. It's highly structured, and I had no idea. And I'm so glad I found coaches that could show me how to do it correctly, because there's a lot involved. So anyway, I hooked up with some amazing coaches who guided me with the proper training and nutrition and posing. And I had no idea what was involved. I had been doing weightlifting on my own Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 12 years. I thought, oh, well, I'm in great shape. I'll do great. I have all this muscle. I'm sure I'll have all this muscle. but I didn't know that I didn't, which is interesting. Probably because I didn't have the proper training for those 12 years. I kind of did it on my own. If I had had professionals guide me in the, like, I do figure competitions, so in guiding me in training specifically for figure physique, I would have been better off. But oh well, I was pretty well off for just jumping on stage at 45. So I had no idea what was involved. From Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, it turns out to compete, I had to train 6 or 7 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, sometimes Sunday, and most often for me personally, twice a day. So I would go in the gym early in the morning, do my weightlifting and then cardio, and then come back later in the day for cardio again. So I had no idea it was that intensive training, and I was overwhelmed with that the first time around. The second time around, 4 years later, when I decided to do it again, it was a lot better because I knew mentally, emotionally, and physically more what was involved. So I was much more prepared. The first time I had no idea, so I was so overwhelmed. But once you know it, then you know what you're getting into. But I had no idea. So physically, the training was very intense, and nutritionally, the diet was really a huge change. The diet for me was you eat every 2 or 3 hours all day. So, and it's a very high protein diet for bodybuilding diet to grow your muscles. The goal is to grow your muscles and lose your body fat. So it's high protein, very low carbs, and very low fat. At least my diet was. So mostly it's chicken breast, ground turkey for me. I don't eat red meats. Egg whites, tuna fish, and white fish. And you throw in a little bit of yam here and there, a little bit of asparagus here and there, which is a diuretic vegetable. At the first time around, there was some grapefruit. Second time around, there wasn't much grapefruit. And some almonds here and there, but that's about it. It's really not much vegetables at all, not much fruit at all, because vegetables have carbohydrates in them and fruit have fructose in it, so those go against losing your body fat for strict bodybuilding competitions. So the diet was a huge change too. So there's a lot involved. When I entered the first time, I knew I wanted to enter in figure competitions because there was a woman, and now I can't remember her name. I think I have her picture. I have her picture somewhere. I'll have to get it. But she was my physique idol, like in the cover of magazines, muscle magazines, fitness magazines. I saw her picture, and she was my idol. I wanted to look like that. So she was a figure or fitness competitor. So when I started competing, I decided to do figure competition. Now, in bodybuilding, there's bodybuilding, which is the muscles. There's fitness for women, which is you develop your muscles, but you maintain a kind of sleek, lean physique with a certain body shape, which is the same as figure. So it's muscly, lean, taut, but a certain shape, wider shoulders, smaller waist, and then little legs. And but fitness, you have a routine, kind of a gymnastic kind of routine. It's very intense, and I wouldn't be able to do that. So I just did figure, where you have the same physique but no routine. You just pose. And then there is now bikini, which is less muscly and for women who look really good in a bikini. And then now also is the physique category. Physique is the cross between bodybuilding and kind of figure. It's in between. So physique women have a lot of musculature, a ton of musculature, but they're still lean. They're not big, huge like bodybuilding women. So there's different categories for the different kind of physique that you tend to be or you want to be. And you train a little different for each one. You probably eat different for each one. But so mine was the figure competition part of bodybuilding competition. So that's about all I have time to describe how I got into it a little bit. But just to let you know, it was my first competition. Was extremely hard. It was like the hardest thing I had ever done in my life. But I got great results in terms of my physique and my training and conditioning. I was in great shape. I felt good. I had a great nutritionist trainer person who believes totally natural and keeping you healthy. So we didn't feel bad at all. I felt great. We all felt really good. So that part wasn't bad, but and then the women I met were just amazing, and in competitions in general, the women of bodybuilding competition world are just fantastic. Like, they are so great. They're motivated, they're driven, they're inspirational, they're dedicated, they're excited, they're passionate. They're just great women, and they're so wonderful to be around. So I loved being a part of that community and meeting women like that and being around the women. When you're backstage and you're in your suit and you're in your makeup and everything, and you look around and you see all these gorgeous women and strong, gorgeous, beautiful women, and you think, oh wow, I'm part of this. I mean, it's just amazing. And so it's a wonderful sport. It's a great sport. I still know very little about it, just as much as I've experienced, but there's a huge amount of things to know in this sport. It's a very, very intense sport. It's very intense. The world of competing is very intense with all the training and everything, and I tend to fall out of that. Some people are able to do it continuously for years and years. I haven't gotten myself into that place of my mental self sticking to the diet longer than competitive season, which is something I really want to keep growing with. So anyway, it's fantastic, and I think strong, healthy, passionate women are just beautiful. So I don't know what else. There's a lot I could say. If you have any more questions, let me know. But it's really fun. I mean, there's nothing like getting all dressed up and looking really pretty and girly, which I've never done in my whole life. And that's where I discovered makeup and discovered how much fun that was, and explored my girly side a little bit, and also some self-care that I had never done in my whole life. Was interesting to explore that side of myself. But the sport is really great, very intense. It's a very intense sport, and nobody really understands it unless you're doing it. Like, it's very hard socially and peer-wise, because you have to be so strict and regimented. So it becomes hard to integrate in a social way and a peer way and even family. But the people that do it understand that it's just really intense, and that's what it takes to do it. So I don't know if this answers any of your questions, but if you have more questions, please feel free to let me know. And this is just a little overall introduction of your question, I hope. And I'd love to talk more. There's plenty to say. So I hope you have a great day. Bye.